one as the real daughter. On the day I returned to the Costello family, the fake daughter Karen decided to teach me a lesson. While eating, she suddenly clutched her stomach, screamed in pain, and cried out, "Sister, even though I took your life, I didn't mean it. Why are you poisoning me?" My parents yelled at me for being vicious, and my brother grabbed a dinner knife, threatening to slash my face. But what they didn't know was that the soul within this body was no longer the timid Riley. It was now a crazy person who had been gunned down after killing 11 people in a psychiatric hospital. "Sis, using chopsticks to eat steak is fine at home, but doing it outside would embarrass the Costello family," Karen said gracefully at the dinner table, with a smile but evil intent in her eyes. She glanced at my steak and added, "Besides, steak shouldn't be well done. That's just common sense." My parents and brother all looked at me with disgust. To them, I was nothing but a country bumpkin, and they even thought breathing the same air under the same roof with me was pollution. Dad shot me a look and said, "You need to learn dining etiquette fast, or don't even call yourself a Costello." Mom stayed silent, just glancing from me to Karen, then smiled contentedly. She was silently telling me that even though I'm her biological daughter, she'd rather love the adopted one. My brother Oscar gripped his knife tightly and growled, "Just look at this hick." I knew bringing her back was a mistake. Karen, trying to seem thoughtful, said, "If sister is willing to learn, I'll definitely teach her well." Dad nodded approvingly at that, but glared back at me. "Are you a mute? Look at how considerate your sister is. Yet here you are, doing such disgraceful things, and you won't even say a word." Ignoring them, I used my chopsticks to gobble down the well-done steak, then wiped my mouth with a napkin and smiled, "Delicious." It felt amazing. Before this, I was a lunatic in a mental hospital. We had food worse than a dog's, more pills than actual meals, and when we did eat enough, we might get electroshocked, and the food would just come right back out. So when I entered this body and saw the feast in front of me, I couldn't care less about these noisy people around. All I wanted was to eat my fill. Feeling satisfied, I started to receive the original owner's memories. She was swapped at birth, but grew up in a loving environment with her adoptive parents, who were both teachers. Life was good, and she excelled in school, but she was soft-spoken. Riley never wanted to return to the Costello family, but her parents used her adoptive parents' jobs to coerce her. Back in the Costello home, she got no love from her biological parents or brother, just neglect. Her dad was strict, and her mom claimed she would treat Riley and Karen equally, even as her actions showed favoritism towards Karen. Oscar had a terrible temper, yet he was weak physically, and he adored Karen excessively, even plotting to get rid of Riley. Such a thrill? This family was full of nothing but rotten people, and I had no qualms whatsoever about doing away with them. I couldn't help but shout again, "Delicious." Dad slammed the table. "Riley, have you lost your mind?" Then he stood up, whipped off his belt, and said, "Maybe a beating will make you see the error of your ways." Watching him prepare to strike, I got even more excited. I don't bully the weak, but someone angry, irrational, and violent like him is my ideal prey. So before he got the chance, I climbed onto the table, grabbed a metal platter, and swung it right into his face. Dad staggered, blood pouring from his nose, and a tooth went flying. The room went silent, and everyone stared at me, too shocked to speak. Karen screamed and yelled, "Sister, how can you hit Dad?" I crouched like a beast over the table, creeping towards her, and asked, "What's wrong? Sad I didn't hit you too? Want to turn? Just say so, little beauty." I laughed maniacally, making Karen cower into Mom's arms. Mom shouted at me, "How ungrateful can you be? How dare you hit your father? Projection much?" She said almost exactly what Karen did. Dad finally shook off his daze, yelling, "Riley, rebel again, and I'll throw you out of the Costello family." Wasn't the whole point that the original Riley didn't want to come back, and was forced by you guys? I parked myself on the table, grabbed a lamb leg, and took a bite. "You made me come back, and now you don't even like me. Every day, you look for excuses to insult me or beat me. You're the ones who are crazy." Dad's lip twitched, but he had nothing to say. Mom, however, was annoyingly insincere. "Riley, how can you say I don't love you? You're my flesh and blood. I'm your mother. How could I not love my own daughter?" I tugged on my cheap, white t-shirt and replied, "With my adoptive parents, no designer clothes, but no street vendor trash either. You claim to love me, yet you dress me like this?" I pointed at Karen. "Look at her in Chanel. while you put me in this crap. You say you're my mom, but I really wonder if you're even human. Mom hastily tried to explain. I just didn't want you to become vain. It's my way of helping. I rolled my eyes. Dumping the clothes my adoptive parents bought me and putting me in garbage doesn't stop me from becoming vain. Honestly, it's just abuse through and through. Mom wanted to say something, but couldn't, 'cause she knew she was in the wrong. She pretended to be mean to me just to show Karen. Mom was worried her real daughter coming back would make her fake daughter, Karen, upset. Karen jumped in. Sis, Mom might have made a mistake, but she didn't mean it. How could you say she's not human? Mom slammed the table. Riley, I'm so disappointed in you, calling your mom inhuman. I rolled my eyes again. You think you're human? Being mean to your daughter so the fake one doesn't feel bad. You really think people can't see through you? The housemates chat about it all the time. You seriously think no one knows? What, did the doctor yank out your brainstem with your wisdom teeth? The Costello family had never been roasted like this before, and they were just stunned. Especially Mom, who's always been this naive woman. She screamed out loud. Oscar suddenly jumped up, yelling at me, bitch, I'm gonna kill you. Ever since I got back, that idiot Oscar's been trying to off me. I even caught him searching how to stage a suicide after a murder on his computer. Weak body, no brains, anger issues. I can't figure out how the original me got bullied by him. After he cursed, Oscar charged at me. I swung a lamb leg at his ugly mug like a baseball bat. He was so weak he passed out on the spot. Oscar! Mom screamed. Dad shot me a look and rushed to check on his son. Karen stared at me confused. She must have been thinking, how did the pushover become like this? But she quickly laughed and clutched her stomach. Sis, even though I took your life, I didn't mean it. Why would you poison me? Framing me for poisoning her? I raised my eyebrows, ready to take on Karen's new challenge. Mom hugged Karen tight and yelled at me, Riley, how could I have such a vicious daughter? How could you poison someone? Dad shouted, quick, call an ambulance. Karen hastily said, Mom, Dad, you can't have sis arrested. Poisoning gets you a heavy sentence. Was that a hint for them to call the cops on me? Wow, this fake daughter isn't the brightest either. A family like this, how could they have such a scandal? I chuckled sarcastically. Oh, my silly sister, don't you know why Dad insisted on bringing me back? With one more daughter, there's one more marriage alliance opportunity. No way he'd call the cops. Karen froze, she hadn't thought of that. Dad looked flushed, but I'd hit the nail on the head. He couldn't have me arrested. I hopped off the dining table and wiped my greasy hands on Karen, saying, she's not poisoned, just upset stomach. She'll be fine once she lets it out. Karen was horrified. What are you doing? I smirked, found laxatives in the bathroom. Come sis, I'll help you out. Karen, instead of pretending to have stomach pain, fought back, pulling at Mom until she nearly fell. I looked at Mom, that naive lady. Look how strong your foster daughter is, even when poisoned. Mom hesitated. Despite being dim-witted, she knew a stomach ache leaves you weak, let alone poison. And clearly Karen wasn't actually poisoned. Without giving Karen a chance, I kicked her down and dragged her by the hair to the bathroom. Then I fed her over a dozen laxatives. Soon the bathroom sounded like popping corn with Karen's cries. Sweet revenge, I shouted. Before coming here, I was locked in a mental hospital because on the subway, some creep touched my thigh and said, wearing a skirt, you must be trying to seduce men. I snapped back, and you have a head to get chopped off? I bashed his head until he died. I got caught, diagnosed with depression and bipolar disorder. They locked me up with my messed up family who bribed the staff to hurt me. But I ended up killing 11 of them before I was shot dead and ended up here. When no one bothers me, I'm totally fine. But when provoked, even I don't know what I'll do. Dad, Mom, and Oscar looked at me in horror. I looked right back, coldly saying, don't mess with me and we can live peacefully. Try something, and I'll go nuts playing with y'all. For I went back to my room feeling annoyed. The Costello family gave me a room that used to be storage, no windows or anything. Even the maids had it better. I went upstairs to get into Karen's room. Mom timidly said, that's your sister's room. You can't just take it. I raised a brow. Do you want to cuddle with me at night, Mom? She shrank back, hiding behind Dad, still saying, it's just wrong to take your sister's room. Got it. I turned and headed to Mom and Dad's room on the 3rd floor. Mom wanted to protest, but Dad stopped her, whispering, leave her be for now. I locked the bedroom door, laid on the comfy bed, and soon fell asleep. But in the middle of the night, I heard someone picking the lock. Were they really planning an ambush? I jumped up, grabbed the heavy crystal ashtray off the nightstand, and waited by the door. Seconds later, the door opened. Oscar, sneaky as ever, peeked in with a bat in hand. Behind him were Mom and Dad. Dad quietly reminded, "Don't hit her face, and don't really hurt her. We need her for the marriage alliance." Oscar gritted his teeth. "I wish I could beat her to death." Mom whispered, "No way, she looks good. Even if she doesn't know etiquette and can't marry a noble peer, she can marry an older man. Those men like a little wildness." "Mom, you seem to know a lot about older men, huh?" I snickered. Then bam, the ashtray in my hand hit Oscar's face. Oscar already looked like a genetic mishap. Dad and Mom are good looking, but he's just ugly. With my ashtray smack, he looked like a cooked potato dropped on the floor and stepped on. He screamed out, blood pouring from his nose and mouth. I grabbed a baseball bat and charged at Dad and Mom. But right then, Dad turned around and jabbed me with a rubber baton from God knows where, right on my shoulder. A strong electric current shot through my body. Darn it, the stun baton. As I fell, Dad gritted his teeth and said, "Watch how I deal with you." That feeling, it was so familiar. The little electric zap. It was kind of weirdly nice. Even though I fell, inside I was happy. 'Cause being shocked felt like flipping a switch for me. It drove me mad. Honestly, when I killed that pervert on the subway, I wasn't even insane. I figured, at worst they'd give me a life sentence or something, since he was the one who grabbed my thigh first. But the pervert's family thought if I went to jail, it'd be tough for them to handle things, so they made up mental illness records for me. As for a mental hospital, those pills and little whacks they give you, those sane doctors and staff calling you crazy, and the crazy ones treating you normally, it'd drive anyone nuts. Especially the electroshocks. They'd make you lose control and destroy your mind and body. So a normal person like me, I ended up losing it. Now I time traveled, and getting shocked again actually got me hyped. Watch how I deal with you. By the time Dad shouted that, I was already up and about. In his shock, I snatched that electric baton from him. You! Dad turned into a stuttering mess. Mom hid behind him, peeking nervously, scared out of her wits. I grinned, zapped myself for fun and laughed out loud. Madman, total madman. Dad ignored Mom and ran. But Mom didn't dare stay, instinctively grabbing Dad's shirt. And down he went. But she didn't stop, just bolted away. Dad face planted hard, but in the air, groaning in pain. I rushed over, gave him a gun-like jab, solved his constipation issue for years on the spot. He foamed at the mouth and passed out, just as Oscar crawled out of the bedroom. He saw this and scrambled the other way faster than a dog. I yawned, suddenly feeling bored. This family's fighting skills weren't worth my time. Then the bathroom door opened, and Karen walked out, one hand on the wall and the other on her belly. Just so happened Dad woke up reaching out. "Karen, help your dad." Karen flinched, holding her stomach. "Oh, it hurts, Dad. I need the toilet, hang in there." I walked over, sat down hard on Dad's back, and pushed his face to the ground with my foot. "See? Even your good daughter won't help you." Dad yelled, "Isn't it your fault? You homewrecker. Ever since you came back, the whole family's in chaos." I hit him over the head with the electric baton, saying, "So I deserve to be bullied by you all? There's surveillance here, just check it. You'll see Karen framed me with the chopsticks and steak." "But did you check?" "No, you didn't. It's not about trusting Karen, is it? It's about ignoring me, letting Karen set me up for fun." Dad swallowed his words. 'Cause he knew I was right. To him, sons were for inheriting the family business, continuing the line. And daughters, whether real or fake, were just marriage tools for cementing family power. So he felt no connection to his blood daughter. The adopted daughter, though not related, had been with him for years. There was a bond there. So he'd let Karen play her games, even helped her for her pleasure. After all, the nicer he treated Karen, the more she'd give back after marriage. I stood up, no longer caring for him, and returned to my room. One last time, don't mess with me. This time, I didn't even close the bedroom door. Slept so loudly it echoed. But nobody dared come in. Next day early, I woke up right on time, just past 4 a.m. Just like before the time travel, I went for a morning jog. The original body was still a little weak. Otherwise, handling the Costello family would have been a breeze. After exercising and a shower, the maid had breakfast ready. I sat at the dining table as the maid brought my food, eagerly saying, "Miss, here's your crab bun. Enjoy while it's hot." You eat it first. I sneered. This maid was in her early 30s, really pretty and with a killer figure, the type that's sweet yet seductive. In the original memories, she got along well with Karen. Suddenly being so attentive, could it be genuine? Sure enough, the pretty maid paled, nervously saying, "We can't eat that, miss, please don't joke." I pulled out the rubber baton from behind my back and slammed it on the table. You eat. I won't hit you. But if you don't, I'll make sure you eat after a beating. She tried to run, but I anticipated that, pressing the baton to her back, zapping her down instantly. For haha, this little flying stick from Dad is actually pretty cool, I like it. I picked up a crab roe bun and shoved it into the nanny's mouth. Fresh out of the steamer, the bun was scalding hot and juicy. The nanny started screaming, as if she was in hell. The Costello family members all rushed out. Dad seemed terrified of me but still yelled, "What are you up to this early in the morning?" I smiled and said, "This chick tried to poison me, so I let her taste it herself." Karen's face looked terrible, already pale and now turning ghostly. Just then, the nanny screamed even louder. It was the laxatives kicking in. She turned into a human sprinkler right there. I quickly stepped back and asked with a smile, "You better tell me who put you up to this, or I'll spill the beans about you and Dad's affair." The nanny cried out, completely terrified, "Miss, there's nothing between me and Sir." But she caught sight of Mom's murderous glare. She knew she needed to shift the blame to save herself. So she pointed at Karen and said, "It was Miss Karen. She told me to do it to embarrass Miss Riley. She even gave me a watch." And then she pulled out a valuable Bulgari watch. The Costello family members recognized the watch, and their expressions shifted. The watch confirmed Karen's involvement. Karen quickly defended herself. "Dad, Mom, brother, sister, she's lying. She must have stolen my watch and is framing me." Dad immediately shouted, "How dare you frame my daughter? You're fired. Get out of here." Mom coldly added, "Leave." Oscar even went over and started dragging the nanny out by her hair. They all knew the truth, but just didn't care. The original owner was truly pitiful. I sneered inwardly. After such a mess, the Costello family wasn't in the mood for breakfast. I made myself some noodles, ate until I was full, and got ready for school. The Costello family had a Bentley specifically for taking me and Karen to school. When I walked out, I saw Karen already in the car, and it seemed like they didn't plan to wait for me. They were already turning the car around. That jerk kept finding ways to mess with me. I sprinted to catch up. After all, a car turning isn't that fast. But the windows were closed, and the driver looked at me coldly, with no intention of opening the door. Karen sneered from the back seat and flipped me off. I'm more of an action type, so I didn't waste any time. I pulled a baton out of my backpack and started smashing the windshield. Within moments I shattered it. The driver wouldn't take me to school, but he wouldn't dare to run me over either. I jumped onto the hood, cracked the windshield some more, and kicked it until there was a big hole. Half my body slipped inside. "Bastard, you dare mess with me?" I grabbed the driver's tie and yanked it hard, punching him a few times for good measure. "Miss Riley, I was wrong. It was all Miss Karen's idea. Please don't make this difficult for me." The driver started to cry. Like saying sorry would fix things. I hopped off the hood, used the baton on the airbag trigger point, and set it off. The airbag exploded, leaving the driver stunned. In the back seat, Karen was so shocked she screamed. I walked over, smashed the car window with the baton, and dragged Karen out. "Looks like you're craving some more laxatives." I pulled a laxative out of my backpack. Karen saw it and started wailing like a baby. She tried to run, but I electrocuted her, then force-fed her the laxative. Karen ran for her life, screaming as she went. It looked like Iron Man's suit had booster jets on, propelling her faster. Not far away, Dad was about to go to the company. His face looked grim when he saw me, but when our eyes met, he quickly got back in his car. I walked up and stopped the Rolls-Royce. "I'm taking this car to school." Dad didn't even hesitate. He got out and left right away. I think I finally scared him for good. Riding in the Rolls-Royce, I got to school. Class went on as usual. I tackled my homework and thought college students sure don't study as hard as high schoolers. Or else, why couldn't I solve these problems? I didn't expect Karen to show up after morning study. Her face was pale as a ghost, her eyes red and swollen, looking really pitiful. Honestly, Karen wasn't all that pretty, just had a classy vibe to her. But now she didn't even have that. When she passed me, she whispered menacingly, "Riley, you're finished." I smirked, ready to accept her challenge. Just then, the classroom suddenly went dead silent. A few girls with brightly dyed hair and cigarettes in their mouths strutted into the room, coming straight for me. The leader, a blonde, sneered, "You Riley? Heard you've been acting mighty tough lately. So, this was the "you're finished" that Karen was talking about?" I got up, kicked away the desk and chair to leave myself some room to move, and casually asked, "What do you guys want? How about cutting to the chase? You want to know? Haha, we're here to teach you a lesson." She swung at me, but mid-swing her body shook. My rubber baton was already pressed against her stomach. Then I pulled out my baton and swung it at her face. The classroom exploded with screams, hers, and the girls around. Her friends lunged at me, but I only got more excited. I was unstoppable, charging left and right. In just a few minutes, they were all cowering and covering their heads. Some girls surrendered before I even got to them. I cornered them by the wall and asked the leader, "Who sent you?" She was the worst off, zapped by me and her face bloodied, completely scared now. "Karen, it was Karen." She even took out her phone, saying, "We've contacted each other over the phone." She even gave me $10,000. Everyone turned to look at Karen. Looking pale, Karen explained, "Sister, are you setting me up by getting them to act?" Yet, some people believed it. To them, Karen was the well-mannered and intelligent young lady of the Costello family, while I was just the recently found and less favored member of the family. At that moment, a tall guy stood up in the back of the class. He thought he looked cool as he tossed his hair and walked towards me with a fake cold demeanor. "Riley, even though we're engaged, I told you before I like Karen. Why would you hurt her out of jealousy?" More people sided with Karen. They relished the drama of two sisters fighting over a man. The guy named Jack was a rich heir. I started laughing. "Are you kidding me? Even if you don't have a mirror at home, you could use a puddle to check out that ugly face before thinking I'd be interested in you." Honestly, Jack wasn't handsome, just tall with good clothes. He didn't even have any charisma. He was full of arrogance. If his family wasn't rich, he'd probably get beat up 8 times a day minimum. Jack's face turned ugly. "You're asking for it. I'm gonna beat you up." He raised his hand, aiming to slap me. I stepped back, lifted my leg, and went straight for a low blow. Jack clutched his legs and fell to the ground, crying out in pain. "Call me the ball buster." I let out a cold chuckle, then turned to Karen. "You ever heard of the law? Right now, the chat records are clear. The money transfer records are clear. But you're accusing me of staging a scene without any solid evidence. This little lady's testimony doesn't mean much. So, if I call the cops now, you're probably looking at legal trouble." Karen was completely taken aback. And to be honest, I was bluffing a lot. But everyone else bought it. Seeing this, Karen tried playing the emotional card. "Sister, we're family. You can't do this to me." "Family?" I raised an eyebrow. "I'm the one with Costello blood, and you're just the adopted daughter. We're not real sisters." The room erupted in murmurs. The fact that Karen was adopted had never been made public by the Costello family, and Karen had been carrying herself like a rightful daughter since my return. Now that I exposed her, it was like a huge slap across her face from everyone around. "Don't worry, I won't call the cops." I grinned, pulling out a pack of pills. "But you're not getting away without some punishment." Seeing the pills, Karen was stunned. Because these were the laxatives she gave a maid to use against me. I didn't give them a chance to react. Made all of them swallow a pill, even Jack. Then they rushed to the restroom, but I beat them there, blocking the door. In no time, they became a spouting brigade, spraying as they ran. The whole school was in chaos. I seized the chance to collect the phones from the little lady and Karen. With such a big scandal at school, of course, the parents would be notified. Before long, my dad showed up, along with Jack's mom and the parents of the little lady crew. In particular, those parents rushed at me like they wanted to tear me apart. I hopped onto the principal's desk, holding up my phone. "Your kids took money to beat me up. I've got chat logs and bank records. If you touch me, I'll call the cops, and they'll have a record, so think about it." Those parents calmed down. Truth is, most parents know what kind of kids they have. With evidence in my hand, they didn't dare make a move. The principal was stressing out, practically pulling his hairpiece off, looking at my dad in distress. It was, after all, a clash between the Costello family daughters. Dad was helpless, whispering to the principal, "I'm powerless here. If she goes crazy, she might pull you into her office." The principal was shocked, unable to resist asking. I remember Riley being quite the excellent student, a good kid. How did she end up going crazy because of your family? Dad was speechless. He wondered the same. How did his once compliant daughter become this wild? Was she really driven mad by them? I couldn't bother with more nonsense and pointed at Karen. Expel her, or this won't end. I'll go to the police, find reporters, make a scene. You'll all regret it. The principal was sweating bullets, thinking if I really went out of control, he'd have to retire early. Dad definitely didn't want it blowing up, as it would tarnish the Costello family name. Seeing the situation, Karen rushed to Dad, crying, "Dad, it wasn't me. It was my sister framing me. Please, Dad, help me." A real daughter wouldn't cling to her dad like that, especially when she's not blood-related. I said sarcastically, then suddenly had a eureka moment. "Oh, Karen, do you want to be my stepmom?" Dad pulled her off, gritting his teeth at me. "Shut your mouth. Expel her, then I'll shut up." I raised an eyebrow. Dad had no choice. He turned to the principal. "I failed as a parent. Expel her, and I'll take her home to educate." The principal sighed with relief, glad to resolve it peacefully. In the end, Karen was expelled, and after making such a scene, no one dared mess with me anymore. Within our social circles, it quickly spread that Karen was adopted. Jack's mom even declared that if the Strass family was going to ally with the Costello family, it'd have to be with an actual daughter, not an adopted one. 6. This whole mess has left Karen completely unable to show her face in our circle. Her reputation as a socialite, built over more than a decade, collapsed just like that. Especially after a video of them acting like fools at school got out. She's been too embarrassed to even leave the house. But what surprised me was that Oscar suddenly stopped bothering me. When something doesn't make sense, there's usually a dirty secret behind it. I decided to dig into it. I've got money now, so investigating stuff is a breeze. Where did I get the money? From my parents. If they refused to give me money, I just threatened to storm into Karen's room with a laxative. They've been left with no choice but to give me a card. I hired someone to investigate and found out that Oscar and Jack met up often. But exactly what they were up to? No idea. But I'm sure they weren't doing anything good. So I spent more money to have someone keep a closer watch. Now in the Costello family, I can do whatever I want, and no one dares to mess with me. But I know they would kill me if given the chance. Of course, my parents would never want me dead. As long as I'm alive, I can engage in an arranged marriage and bring benefits to them. But Karen and Oscar? They definitely want me gone. I'm not going to give them that chance. While I've still got some power left, I replaced all the maids, drivers, and gardeners at home. The Costello family didn't care about them anyway. One day, after school, I found Karen waiting at the door. I glanced at her and said, "Got something to say?" Karen quickly grabbed my hand and said, "Sister, I've realized a lot of things lately. We're family, and I shouldn't have treated you like that. I'm here to apologize and hope you can forgive me." "Oh, is this her new tactic?" I got excited but pretended not to care. "Get lost. Not interested. Go die somewhere else." Karen, however, directly knelt before me. "Sister, I really know I was wrong. Please give me a chance. We're holding a family dinner to apologize to you." Then my phone rang. I checked it and said, "All right, I'm hungry anyway." Soon, we arrived at a rundown warehouse in the suburbs. I got out of the car, suspiciously asking, "A family dinner in a place like this?" "Sister, the outside might look shabby, but inside it's beautifully arranged." Karen hurriedly pulled me inside. I followed her in, not bothering to expose her pretense. Once inside, there were no decorations. Instead, I saw Oscar, Jack, and 4 big guys. Plus, Mom and Dad were there too. Not to mention cameras everywhere. Karen immediately ran off, and 2 of the guys moved to shut the warehouse doors. Oscar approached with a sinister look. "If we didn't still need you for the arranged marriage, today you'd die here. Be grateful you're a Costello. You have value. Just cooperate and film a video for us as leverage." He gestured, and the 4 guys moved toward me. My parents showed no emotion, clear that they had no feelings for their own daughter. I was too thrilled and started laughing eerily. From my backpack, I pulled out a water balloon. Then, amid the confused look of one guy, I threw it at his head. Splash! The balloon burst, and the strong smell of gasoline filled everyone's noses. I lit a cigarette and squinted at the guy. "Wanna die?" The guy backed away in fear, knowing he could burn at any moment. I pulled out another balloon. I've got plenty of these, enough to burn everyone." The other 3 guys glanced at each other, deciding that risking their lives wasn't worth any amount of money, and retreated. I sneered, "Get out, or I'll pretend you were never here." The 4 of them didn't say a word and bolted. Oscar yelled, "Get back here. I'll pay you more." But no one listened. Life was more important than money. Jack couldn't help but say, "You're insane." I flashed them a bright smile. "You've never met a real lunatic. But let me tell you something. I came from another time and place. Before I crossed over, I killed 11 people who tried to kill me, ha ha ha." An hour or so later, the police and firefighters arrived. They rescued me from a large metal container amid the chaos. As for the rest of the Costello family, Mom, Dad, Karen, and Oscar, they all died. Even Jack gone. When questioned by the police, I clutched my head and cried, muttering to myself, "Mom, Dad, don't kill me. I promise to behave. Even if you bully me to death, I'll never fight back. Please, don't kill me." The police sent me to a hospital, but left guards to watch over me. Physically, I was fine, but mentally, not so much. So they had someone perform a psychological evaluation. The doctor said I suffered from severe trauma and was showing signs of a mental disorder. Later, the police found some footage on the cameras in the warehouse. In it, Oscar was talking about killing me, but not doing so because they needed me for marriage. They also wanted to film leverage. That footage, I left it there intentionally. Later on, the 4 big guys turned themselves in. They said they were hired by Oscar and Jack, with my parents' approval, to bully me and film it for leverage. If I didn't fall in line, they would kill me. They even mentioned how Oscar repeatedly talked about wanting me dead. The police also conducted home interviews, confirming what I'd gone through, tormented daily, until I nearly lost my mind. The school gave statements too, saying I was well-behaved and a good student at first, but everything changed after being bullied by Karen and her gang constantly. In the end, the case had too many holes and no clear perpetrator. I acted crazy every day, and doctors diagnosed me as mentally unstable, needing psychiatric help. A few days later, the police found some key evidence. There was a video of Oscar and Jack pouring gas on their car at home. Plus, their fingerprints were all over the lighter. In the end, the case was closed. Apparently, it was Oscar, Jack, and their parents, Riley, who failed at trying to harm me. They ended up accidentally starting the fire. Anyway, I'm alive and they're all dead. I scheduled their funeral at night. I put their ashes in fireworks and shot them into the sky. Not long after, I sold everything the Costello family owned and left the city with a fortune. As for that day at the warehouse, I had sent someone to check things out and got solid info sent to my phone. That's why I let Karen go there. I was always looking for a chance to take them all down, and they handed it to me. I had to seize the moment. I also started that fire, but I left no evidence behind. I hired 4 big guys, and they had no choice but to take my money and back me up. Now, I just want to move somewhere else and live a simple and happy life.